Hey guys, welcome back here to Intuitive Angling, and appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check out today's episode. And guys, today we're going to be talking about baits to fish on a spinning outfit that most people don't fish. There's about a half a dozen lures, guys, that I can promise you, if you start fishing them on a spinning outfit, and most people don't think that you can, but if you start fishing them on the spinning outfit, you're going to catch a lot more fish. You can do more things with it. I'm going to get in today's video why, and we're going to really highlight those lures that you need to be fishing with a spinning rod if you're not doing already. So we'll get into that today. Also guys, Tackle Warehouse guys has got a bunch of good spring sales going on right now. If you're looking to get set up with a good rod and reel outfit, whether it be spinning outfit or bait caster, I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. Take advantage of that, get some good sales for the spring coming up, and also by using that Tackle Warehouse link, that's a great way to support intuitive angling. So if you've benefited from some of my tips and it helps you catch fish and you want to give something back to the channel, just using and bookmarking my Tackle Warehouse link that's in every video description for your purchases goes a long way to do that. And me and my family really appreciate everybody that's been doing that. Thank you very much. Okay guys, you noticed if you've seen me do videos and everything and talk about it, I fish a lot of baits on a spinning outfit that most people don't. And I think a lot of this started where I've done a ton of jerkbait videos. And anyone that has seen my jerkbait videos knows that one of my foundational elements for success with a jerkbait is using it on a spinning outfit. I fish 99% of my jerkbaits on a spinning rod all the time. The only jerkbait that I do not fish on a spinning rod is Megabass makes the one called a Canada that's a 7-inch long jerkbait. It weighs about an ounce. And I will fish that on a bait caster, but I'll fish a jerkbait on, spinning rod on everything. And another thing that I do, and I might even include in this video here, I fish a small crankbait, not necessarily a little bitty crankbait, but a medium to small crankbait on a spinning outfit too. Now, let me explain to you guys the two primary baits that I fish on a spinning outfit that most people don't, which is again, is the crankbait and the jerkbait. Here's why you want to do it. When you're talking about cranking and you're talking about jerkbait fishing, depending upon the time of the year, one of the key elements to catching fish that other people can't catch with those two techniques is getting the bait deeper than everybody else is. If you throw these baits, little crankbaits and that type of stuff, and jerkbaits on a spinning outfit, I can promise you, you can cast 25% further than people with a bait caster. It's especially if it's windy out, because a lot of these baits are going to weigh a quarter of an ounce, sometimes less. So you can make a longer cast, and any time that you make a longer cast, you're going to get that bait deeper in the water. Sometimes, guys, you'll pick up 3 to 4 foot extra depth on a jerkbait or crankbait by simply casting it 25% further. So and I know a lot of times you're not after that. Getting super deep is not necessarily your primary objective, but when it is, that's one advantage of the spinning outfit. Another advantage of throwing a spinning rod with a crankbait or a jerkbait is the feel that you have with it. When you're using a spinning outfit, it's not only you have a different type of a feel, but you have a heightened level of sensitivity with the spinning rod, because your line comes through the guides that are down here, just the way that you handle it, the lighter action of the spinning outfit, you got a better feel. You can detect strikes, you can detect the movement of the bait, the wobble of the bait. But the most important thing out of all this, aside from the feel and the distance you get out of it, is your ability to manipulate and put action on the water that is on the lure that is different from a bait caster. When you're talking about having subtle movements, like subtle wrist movements like that, or twitching or shaking something like that, or twitching, you simply cannot duplicate the action that you can put on a spinning outfit with a bait caster. You can't do it. It's a completely different type of a configuration. So therefore, when you're fishing like a crankbait or jerkbait on a spinning outfit, you can create a level of action on the bait that you can't duplicate with a bait caster, without a doubt, especially on a jerkbait. Another thing with that is you can fight the fish better, because most of the time on a spinning outfit, you're going to have, sort of a medium bend on there, a softer bend. And that softer bend not only allows the fish to take the bait a little bit deeper, but it allows you to fight that fish better. The tip is more forgiving. And when you couple that up with back reeling, learn how to back reel. We've talked about this before, guys. One of the biggest tips I'll give you in bass fishing is never use that drag right there. Always put the anti-reverse off and learn to back reel. You can control the fish better. You can adjust to instant movements and different pressure on the fish. So the combination of the the rod tip out there and back reeling with the spinning rod is going to go a long way to landing those fish. And then also with that, you can use lighter line. And the lighter line also allows sometimes you get better action on the bait. And again, in correlation with the longer cast, you can make a lot, get the bait to go a lot deeper. So let's say, for example, on a bait caster, the lightest most people go with the bait caster is about, 10-pound test. Occasionally, maybe somebody will use 8-pound test, but most of the time, 10-pound test is a minimum on a bait caster. I use my primary lines for spinning outfit are 4, 6, and 8-pound test. And say, for example, I fish a small jerkbait a lot on 4-pound test in the wintertime. And number one, you can't do that on a bait caster. I can get that bait down twice as deep on 4-pound test as you can 10. So there's a lot of different reasons that you want to use, spinning rod, different type of lures out there. So in my own fishing, guys, here's what I use a spinning rod for. I use it for all my finesse techniques, like my shaky head, Ned rig, drop shot, little worms like that, small swim baits, the typical, spinning rod setup that everybody uses. But I also use it on different baits that a lot of people don't use. Crankbaits, any type of a crankbait from like a wiggle wart size down, I use on a spinning outfit. Again, I'll use all my jerk baits on a spinning outfit. I'll fish all my floating worms on a spinning outfit. I'll fish a fluke a lot on a spinning outfit. A lot of people don't. And sometimes I'll even fish, some top waters on it, depending upon what that top water is. A lot of times on a smaller top water, like a popper that catches a lot of wind, you can fish it on a spinning rod a lot more effectively. But the main point of the video, guys, is don't just think that spinning tackle is relegated for your standard, spinning rod stuff like little swim baits and shaky heads and Ned rigs. Start incorporating it with those bigger baits out there, and you can really maximize the efficiency of some of those baits that most people, never have the opportunity to do. So, guys, hope it helps you catch some. We'll talk later. See you.